The big mistake Iran's military is making. Crazy stuff. What's happening, everybody? I hope you're doing good. It's a beautiful day. Thank you very much for stopping by. You appreciate it. As I was going through the feed, I saw something very interesting. Okay, there is very interestingly from the channel respectable CNN interviewing a general. Okay, I believe he's retired, and very interesting what he had to say. The man says Iran has made big mistakes so far. I think we need to listen to what he says, and maybe you're going to tell us, do you think he's telling the truth? Or do you think his truth is pure propaganda from the West? Let's go.
This is a massive operation. There were hundreds of Israeli aircraft, hundreds of American aircraft, hundreds of cruise missiles coming out of ships, submarines, and so forth. And the focus, the Israelis, it appears, was largely on the regime leaders. And of course, they had extraordinary success in taking out the supreme leader and a number of the other most important figures in the regime. Really quite stunning. In fact, it's particularly stunning that the arrogance of the Iranians, that they all gathered together for meetings, presuming that we didn't attack in the early morning hours like we normally do, and therefore they had a period of daylight during which they could come together and talk. The U.S., meanwhile, was going largely after the air and ballistic missile defenses that are left in Iran, and then the missile and other retaliatory capabilities. And again, keep in mind that there were hundreds of targets by each of the Israeli and U.S. forces. So a really extraordinary amount of ordnance being dropped and going in as cruise missiles as well. And it appears to have been very, very devastating in a lot of ways, but still always an ability to retaliate with both the longer range that could reach Israel and then the shorter range, of which they have a substantial number that can reach across the Gulf. Sure, we should understand that even in the 12-day war, with all of the ballistic missile and air defenses that we assembled, and they're very considerable, and we've done it again now. It's not just the Patriots and the terminal high-altitude air defense systems that are on the ground, but also all the ships have Patriot-like systems. There are planes flying to try to take out missiles and drones and so forth. So this is a very, very comprehensive effort, and it's all integrated with the host nations and with Israel, to be sure. But even then, 5 to 7% of the missiles got through during the 12-day war, and if they hit, unfortunately, as the one did that you reported on earlier, there can be a big amount of devastation.
It's a great question. George Kennan, a great diplomat, said war once initiated has a momentum of its own. You don't know exactly where it's going to go. I think over Iran right now, very importantly, look, the United States and Israel has complete not just air superiority, but air dominance, and they're still targeting leaders. This is still going on. We're still doing waves of strikes. So whoever might step up into a leadership role is very vulnerable. The Iranians have announced they have a constitutional process. Remember, they've only had one secession in their entire history since 1979. So this is really an uncharted territory. They have a secession process under their constitution, a council of the president, the chief justice, and a cleric to be named. They say who's running the country now, but those people haven't been seen. Ali Larijani, who's a key advisor to the supreme leader for many decades, he's likely making some decisions. But what I'm seeing Iran do, they're firing off missiles. This was probably a pre-cooked plan for when they were attacked. It's unclear who is making strategic decisions, and they're making some mistakes, Dana. They're attacking civilian areas of the Gulf, and the Gulf states, the GCC states there, UAE, Qatar, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, are uniting. And I would watch this over the coming days. Do they actually, their air forces are now engaged in defense. Do they actually join in some attacks into Iran in self-defense? I think that's a key question. That was not, I think, on my bingo card when this started. I think the Gulf wanted to stay out of it. They're being drawn in, so that's something to watch over the coming days.
A big mistake, I think, actually, Dana, because again, the Gulf
states
that they have been attacking the Gulf states. The Gulf states wanted to stay out of it, as Brett said. So they did not even allow us to use their bases in a number of cases. Now they're into it. They've been attacked, and not just our bases, but civilian areas as well. And so they're going to take place now with the defensive measures. As Brett mentioned, we have aircraft in the sky now. I'm sure they're being integrated by the Combined Air Operations Center. And if that continues, they're going to probably take further measures.
So the man is suggesting that Iran initially was not going at war against any of the countries. If you see on the map, Iran is right here. But Iran by hitting targets in these countries that are supposed to be American targets, has opened itself to something completely different. So initially, these countries were not against Iran, okay? Iran was against America, America against Iran. None of these countries was involved. Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and all these countries that host American stuff and American bases were not against Iran. Matter of fact, they were against any operation being done from their country, from their base. But by striking these places, striking this military base by America in these countries, Iran has opened an hostile door vis-a-vis to those people. Do you think this makes sense? Can Saudi Arabia say, okay, I wasn't involved in your war, but now that you've decided to hit an American base in my country, now I'm going to go to war with you, or maybe I'm going to have issues with you. Or my idea was not to allow Americans to land and use airport in my place. Because you've hit targets that belong to Americans in my country, I'm going to allow them. Do you think this makes sense? Or it's an excuse by Saudi Arabia? Perhaps I always wanted them to beat you up, but you've given me an excuse now. I can't be neutral anymore. What do you think? My question is, if Iran is at war against the United States of America, and America is very, very far away, and Iran cannot reach America, but America has houses and bases across the road, how is Iran going to retaliate?
Well, 20% of global trade, 80% of Iran's oil, of course, goes to Asia and China. China has a big interest here. And I have just one geostrategic issue. Russia and China, very quiet here. Mm-hmm. And of course, they're very much strategic partners of Iran, very quiet. I think that's very telling. Yeah, we'd expect when oil markets open, the price of oil is going to go up, I think, fairly significantly. We'll see. OPEC met today. They announced they're going to be increasing production. But look, think about escalation dominance in a conflict like this. If Iran makes moves in the Straits of Hormuz, as they're threatening, they targeted some tankers today, U.S. Air Forces have escalation dominance here. We can target Iran wherever we want. So Iran has to be calculating that. To the extent Iranian leaders are even thinking strategically, they seem to be just firing off their missiles without a strategic plan, and that shows real disarray in their chain of command.
Again, I don't know. I mean, these generals are American generals, okay? They are retired, but they are Western generals. Are they going to say something negative about the West on TV? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe a result of all the leaders taken out. They're just acting on pre-decision that they were authorized before. But again, 20% of the world's crude oil and 20% of the world's liquefied natural gas come right through the strait. There's already a report that the traffic is down by some 50 to 70%. And then, as Brett mentioned, there was a ship attacked right in here. And that's going to, Maersk has announced that they're stopping going through here and also through the strait that the Houthis have disrupted in the past. They're, of course, an Iranian surrogate as well. So we'll see an effect, but it likely will be a short-term effect. It will not be enduring unless there's some really significant escalation, say mining of the Strait of Hormuz that for some reason requires longer than normal to clear.
Again, I think this is very interesting. Just as a reminder, the reason why Iran and America are going at it is because America doesn't want Iran to develop nuclear power by enriching uranium. Iran feels it is a sovereign country that can make their own decisions. Do you think America is right? Because America believes Iran is dangerous. Has Iran proven to be dangerous to Americans? Do you think Iran is right as a sovereign country to be able to produce its own nuclear power? Like Pakistan, India, China, Russia, France, and other countries. Let me know how you feel about this. Do you think Iran is making a mistake, like this general says? God bless.